Hey guys, I just want to take a brief moment to talk to you about an amazing platform called Anchor. It is actually what I use for this podcast and another podcast. And for a while, it was extremely hard for me to find the right host, the right service. And I was browsing everywhere and stumbled across the app. And I've been using it ever since. Anchor really is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, distributing, and monetizing your podcast. I love it because I put, the episodes together, put them up, upload them there, and it distributes them to everywhere that podcasts can be heard and need to be heard. The ability to do it on my mobile, add things, call-ins, it's all come in handy, when I'm in a bind and can't exactly be at home to record. So, and the best thing is it's free to use. So if you want to start a podcast, if you've thought about it, do it. All you have to do is go to anchor.fm/start. Again, that is anchor.fm/start to join me and the whole community. And I look forward to hearing your podcast.
Hello and welcome back. I hope you're ready for another episode of Tales from Helheim.
Not the ending you're expecting. Several years ago, my family lived in a sketchy area of a small town in South Carolina. Our neighbor 2 doors down was a well-known drug dealer, and there were always shady people walking up and down our street and through our yard late at night. Now my fiance is a night owl, and I worked nights, so we were always up late. My daughters weren't in school yet, and thankfully liked to sleep in as much as we did, so it wasn't uncommon for he and I to be up to 2 or 3 in the morning, watching TV and playing internet poker. We didn't have curtains or blinds on most of the windows, so it was obvious that we were awake and in the brightly lit living room that late at night. Everyone in the neighborhood was also familiar with our 2 oversized Czech German Shepherd dogs. Our female was around 160 pounds, and our male was around 120. They could also both be seen through the window at night by anyone looking in. So for a few weeks, we'd been having issues with hearing sounds outside at night, but when we went to check, typically the person would be gone, and we'd find nothing but a pry bar near the window where they'd been trying to get in. By the time we moved from that neighborhood, we had a collection of them that we'd found around the outside of our house. What couldn't be seen through the windows was that my fiance had drilled holes through both wooden frames of each window, and then had them held in place with 3-inch nails, so they couldn't be opened without taking the nails out of the holes. One night, we were sitting in the living room at around 3 in the morning, and we hear a sound at the window directly between our 2 computers. The dogs are sitting in front of the window just growling and staring out, and when we looked outside, we could see a guy trying to pry the window open. We both stood in front of the window, staring at him. The dogs were barking, but he was so drugged up apparently he didn't notice any of us there until my fiance knocked on the window. He ran off and my fiance headed out to collect his pry bar. We figured that would be the end of it, but the next night, the same guy was at it again, at a different window in the living room. The process repeated with my fiance knocking on the window and scaring him off, and then collecting the pry bar. When he showed up on the 3rd night, we decided we'd had enough. This time, instead of knocking on the window, My fiance went outside without alerting him. So this is what the guy trying to break into the house saw. First, my fiance steps onto the porch. He's 6'5" but skinny, and uses a cane a large portion of the time. So despite his height, he appears pretty non-threatening. When the guy noticed him there, he didn't try and run this time, apparently thinking he could take him. They stared each other down for a few minutes, and when the guy raised the pry bar like he was going to move towards my fiance, all hell broke loose. My fiance, despite using a cane, is fast when he needs to be. In an instant, he'd popped open the front door, released both the dogs, and at the same time pulled a machete out of the back of his pants and took off after the guy. So here, this guy thinks he has an easy target, only to be chased down by nearly 300 combined pounds of snarling teeth and muscle, and a crazy, skinny white guy with a machete. I've never seen a crackhead run so fast. All I can say is, housebreaking drug addict guy, for your sake, I hope we never meet again. It just goes to show you that even when you're home, things can get out of hand. And don't forget to pull your feet up, tuck them in, 'cause you never know what's under your bed, waiting to touch you, grab you, and pull you under.